Well, let's speak now to Bradley Bowman. He's Senior Director at the Centre on Military and Political Power at the Foundation for Defence of Democracies. He previously served as a National Security Advisor for the US Senate Armed Services and Foreign Relations Committees, as well as serving in Afghanistan as an active duty US Army officer. Mr. Bowman, thank you very much for being with us. I have to ask you, we were warned within the last few days of a potential imminent attack. But what about before that? Was the US and its allies blind to this? Was there some kind of intelligence or strategic failure?
Thank you for the question and the opportunity to discuss this. First, if I may, just want to express my deep sympathies to those that have been lost, both Afghans and American service members. And, it's important, I think, just to remember what was happening here. You had innocent Afghan families, men, women, and children fleeing the Taliban regime, trying to get to safety. U.S. service members risking their lives to help them get to safety. And we had ISIS, the Islamic State, come in and murder them in cold blood and attack our brave service members who are trying to help them. So I just think it's important to be clear about what's happened here and to be clear that these really are enemies of all civilization that we're looking at here. And it's a sobering reminder of the character of the adversaries we confront. In terms of intelligence failure, there's been a lot of intelligence failures leading up to this point. But I think, it's easy to say that, but at the same, but we have to be fair. The U.S. intelligence community warned President Biden repeatedly that if he conducted a conditions ignoring timeline-based withdrawal, that the Taliban would make gains and potentially topple the government. So that is not a surprise. What is a surprise for many is how quickly it happened. And they also predicted that ISIS, Khorasan, ISIS-K, the Islamic State, was trying to hit the airport. So we've seen some serious hits and misses on the part of the intelligence community, but I'm not confident that there's really anything intelligent-wise that President Biden could have heard that would have changed his mind. He made this mistake in 2011 in Iraq, and he's repeating it now. And I'm not sure anything could have persuaded him otherwise.
The deadline for US forces being out of the country is just days away. President Biden, in his speech earlier on, said all Americans in Afghanistan will be recovered from the country. America will get them out. Do you think that's feasible?
It's a good question. It's important to remember that August 31 deadline, that's self-imposed and arbitrary. I mean, that wasn't even in the foolish Trump administration deal with the Taliban. President Biden extended that. So, that's a self-imposed deadline. And the top U.S. commander in the Middle East, General McKenzie, said that there are a little over 1,000 American civilians still left in the country. I'm not sure I trust how precise that number is. That's a lot of Americans. Some of them aren't able to get to the airport. Some of them are conflicted about whether they leave some of their non-U.S. citizen family members behind, just an agonizing decision that no one would want to confront. I'm honestly skeptical whether we can get all Americans out by August 31st. But what I read President Biden saying today is that even though we may close down Kabul airport, that we will take other measures to get any remaining Americans who want to leave. That's how I read his comments today.
And finally, what does the US military and the US government need to do next?
This is a catastrophe. We have a Taliban al-Qaeda syndicate in charge of Afghanistan, with a safe haven, once again, as we had on September 11, 2001. We're also going to see a terrorist bonanza in terms of global recruitment and radicalization. I think this was a deep and tragic mistake that we've made that we're going to have to spend years cleaning up with our allies.
OK, Bradley Bowman, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much for sharing your insights with us. Appreciate it.